So you just gotta pull it, and then out it comes. Definitely gonna have to get some transmission fluid. Welcome to the Trick Shift Garage. Today we are going to be working on CV joints. I'm right there. This CV joint, the boot, the rubber boot, busted open and has literally slung grease everywhere. So today I'm going to replace this one on the passenger side, but if time permitting, I'm going to replace the one on the driver's side as well. Alright, step one, you want to remove that cotter pin right there. Just grab a pair of pliers and straighten up the pin. Once you got the pin straight, just pull it straight on through. Alright, the next step is going to be that spindle right there. That's a size 32 millimeter. So just put it on there and zips right off. Alright, the next step is to pull off this clip that holds the brake line in place. Alright, so the next step is to grab your 21 millimeter, and I use my air gun again. We're going to loosen up these two bolts that holds the strut on. And if you don't have an air gun, a breaker bar would be fine, or even an electric impact wrench, that'd be fine too. Alright, once you got them loosened up, you can just tap them on out. But I decided to leave one in for now, so that way it would stay in place. As you can see, we're breaking it loose, and now I'm going to pull the bolt out, holding it, and then slowly pulling back. Just be careful when you pull it out. You don't want to damage any bushings or seals that hold the grease in. Alright, so now that we're inside, we have two bolts right here that we need to loosen and remove. That is what holds the actual axle in place and keeps it from sliding in and out. These two bolts can be difficult to reach. If you have a long extension, preferably a 3/8 inch extension, the one I had was like 2.5 feet long, so I was able to reach it all the way from the outside of the car. But use whatever you can at your disposal. It's going to be a 13 millimeter there, these bolts are. Just loosen them up and take them right on out. You can just simply pull the axle out. There was quite a bit of transmission fluid that leaked out, as you saw. Done with it, finally. That's the point that it failed and slung grease all in the inside of the wheel well and on the engine. As you can see, this is the original one that came with the car, so it had about 195,000 miles on it. Alright, so the next step is to spray the bracket there that's going to hold the axle in place. And I'll just use some brake cleaner and some rags and just wipe it down as best I can. And then this is the entrance to the actual transmission. I just wiped it up some. I didn't spray much around there. Didn't really want to get brake fluid inside the transmission, so I just kind of wiped it by hand. Made sure everything was in place. And let me tell you, if you have a buddy around, like I had Bob around to help me out in this part, it can be very beneficial because that axle is not light. Okay, especially when you're trying to thread it through the bracket and then actually insert it inside the transmission. Definitely helps to have a friend or a buddy nearby. Making sure that little metal washer at the end where my hand is properly seated. That right there, you have to make sure that's in the right spot because that's what keeps the oil seal to stay in place. And then boom, there it goes. Now it's in place. Alright, so mind that notch that's on the bracket there. It needs to be on the top side. I don't know if it really matters, but I just had to go back and take look at the pictures that I took before to make sure it was on the top. So just put the notch back where it was. I don't think it matters, but just better be safe than sorry. Okay, so put the bolts in, tighten it down. This is going to be torqued down to 18 foot-pounds. It's not much. Since I used an extension that was like almost 3 feet long, I actually I put about, I think I put 20 pounds of torque on it. just because those extensions actually twist a bit when you tighten. So you want to add a little bit back. But 18 if you're just gonna be right next to it. Okay, so the axle's in place. Now we're putting it back into the wheel bearing assembly and the whole wheel hub assembly. It takes a little bit of finagling, but eventually it goes in. Just make sure that you do not damage the teeth on the spindle end of the axle going into the wheel bearing hub. As you can see, it's a little bit of a struggle, but eventually it pops into place. Okay, there it goes. You can grab a bolt and slide it on in, and some blue thread lock for the other one. Same thing. I'm just finger tightening in there now just to put it in place. Torque them down. Again, they're 21mm size on both sides, which here is 133 foot-pounds. Yep, just a couple rotations and it clicks in. Get a couple test clicks and you're good to go. And then for the bottom one, same thing. Take your time with it. Go nice and easy. Alright, so now we're putting on that brake line clip again, just to keep the brake line where it's supposed to be. Okay, spindle time. So I put a little bit of thread lock on that too, because why not? Better be safe than sorry. And as you can see, I did it by hand, only to, as I tightened it, I was feeling for any kind of irregularities, I guess. Like, it should be able to turn smoothly when you put the spindle nut on. You shouldn't feel any kind of binding or grinding. It should be relatively easy. And once you got it in as tight as you can, then you go back again, 32mm, and this is going to be torqued down to 92 foot-pounds. So the axles that I got came with that lock washer. What is necessary is the cotter pin. You must have the cotter pin in place, and then just put it in, and you can just bend it back like so. You just want to make sure the cotter pin doesn't escape at all, ever. And another quick spray of some brake clean all around, and this side is pretty much done. Okay, on to the driver's side, and this is day 2. This side is pretty much the same thing, but we're going to go through it again just to make sure, you know, you guys are good with it. This time around, I changed up my steps I did. I removed the whole caliper on this side. I can just take the whole thing off as one. Getting the brake clip off. All right, get that out of the way and loosen up my bolts. The 2 bolts, the 22mm bolts. It was a little bit tricky on finding a place to set the caliper, but I ended up jerry-rigging up this bungee cord. Whatever you can use. I mean, if you have a bucket, you can always put the bucket down on the ground and set the caliper on the bucket. A lot of people like to do that too, but it's really up to you. Whatever you have at your disposal. You take the spindle off, again 32mm, and I'm breaking it loose. And once you have the axle broken loose inside the wheel bearing, you're going to take off the 2 strut bolts again, same way as before. Nothing changes here, but I mean, it's just still good to show. So now I'm taking out the bolts, and I came across a little bit of a problem on this lower bolt. I don't know why it was binding. I was able to get the nut off fine, but the bolt just didn't want to come. So I grabbed the impact gun and just lightly just kind of feather the trigger. I did break the axle loose with the ball peen, but apparently the rust on the outside of the spindle was keeping it from going all the way through. So I just had to go in and out with it a bit, and eventually it came through. It was fine. It wasn't that big of a deal. So when pulling this axle out, you want to make sure it's as straight as you can get it, and then give it a direct pull straight out. It took a little bit of time, I'm not gonna lie. It took me quite a few tries to actually get this thing to come out. In the interest of trying to keep the video as short as I can, I'm going to show a couple series here of me trying, but it definitely took longer than this. It was not as easy as I'm showing it here. Yep, there it goes. So basically what's happened is there's a little lock washer, or I don't think it's called a lock washer, but there's a little like washer inside that axle. It keeps the axle from accidentally coming out, but it's a pain in the butt to pull out when you're trying to. And it's also a pain in the butt when you're trying to push the new one in. This took a while too. Again, you want to have the axle as straight as you possibly can. And a lot of tries and a lot of luck, eventually it did go into place. But yeah, it was just a lot of trial and error and just trying to feel to try to get that washer to fall in. Yeah, 30 minutes later, yeah, it would probably felt about that way. But eventually, as you can see, I got it in, and the way to know that you got it in, you'll feel it go, you know, it'll push in, but you also want to kind of pull it out, because that's the test to see if that locking mechanism, that's like a little washer that goes around the axle, is actually going to hold it in place. And if you can't pull it back out, then you know you got it in and you're good. All right, here I'm trying to show how close the axle is to the actual transmission. It's very close. So now I'm just trying to show that that's how you know you got it in. Now we're simply putting this the axle into the new wheel bearing. As you can see, I replaced it. Anyway, once you get the axle into the new wheel bearing, you want to torque that down. I didn't show it, but you want to put the bolts back in the strut just to hold the wheel hub into place. Okay, so here's the lock washer thing. For some reason on this side, it did not want to go in. So I just ended up using the old cotter pin, actually. As long as there's no damage, or it's not rusted, or it's not about to disintegrate on you, you can reuse cotter pins. So again, putting on the strut bolts. Okay, 103 foot-pounds, 21 millimeter size, and just tighten them down nice and easy. Okay, again, more anti-seize. And there's the rotor, and then we put the lug nuts on just to keep it from falling on me. Okay, so then once you got these on, the next step is going to be to put the caliper assembly, all of it, back in place. And these caliper bolts, they get tightened down to 98 foot-pounds. Notice how this time I actually mounted the caliper, or I should say I mounted the wheel hub back to the strut to tighten these down. It makes it a lot easier. Okay, and then here goes the little clip to hold the brake line in place. A couple taps with the ball peen. Boom, there it goes. Okay, the next step is to use Nissan NS2 Cvt Fluid. I couldn't find that, so I grabbed AMSOIL 100% synthetic fluid. It works even better than the stock factory fluid. Pulling out the axles, and as you can see here, it's kind of fuzzy, but there's the line right there. You want to make sure you get between the two notches. I took about a half of a quart I had to use for it. But other than that, that's it as far as this job. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. See you on the next one.